Belarus is an Eastern European country with a rich tradition of folk and religious music. The country's folk music traditions can be traced back to the times of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. In the 20th century, the Soviet control of the country somewhat limited musical development because nationally oriented music was considered subversive and dangerous to the Soviet authority. The country's musical tradition spread with its people to countries like Russia, Canada, United States, Kazakhstan, Latvia and Ukraine. The people of Belarus were exposed mostly to Russian pop music during this period and also after independence in 1991. In 2002, however, Alexander Lukashenko has signed a decree requiring 50% of all FM broadcast music to be Belarusian in origin, and since January 1, 2005 the rule was made even stricter. However, it does not regulate the language of the songs, so most of the music which is broadcast is still in Russian. Traditional music documentation of its music stretches back to at least the 15th century. Prior to that, skomaroks were the major profession for musicians. A pneumatic chant, called znameni, from the word znamia, meaning sign or noim, used until the 16th century in Orthodox Church music, followed by 200s of stylistic innovation that drew on the Renaissance and Protestant Reformation. In the 17th century, partesnopeni, part singing, became common for choruses, followed by private theaters established in cities like Minsk and Vitebsk. Music of Soviet Belarus. In the 20th century, the first secondary education institute in Belarus was founded and the first operas and ballets. Popular Soviet Belarusian music was composed by several prominent bands, many of whom performed Belarusian folk music. Folk rock act Pesniri, formed in 1969 by guitarist Vladimir Mulyavin, became the most popular folk band of the Soviet Union, and often toured over Europe. Pesniri's example inspired Siabri and Verazzi to follow the way. The tradition of Belarus as a center of folk and folk rock music is continued today. Late 1970s saw more straightforward rock bands such as Suzori. Modern Belarus. Belarus gained independence after the fall of the Soviet Union and new bands appeared, including NRM-ULIS. Modern pop stars are also well known, including Boris Moiseev and Lyapos-Trubetskoy. There are also electronic music performers like Autism Enigan 22H, HTP, Dromos. Worth noting is Drum XTC performs live drum and bass. Around 2002 a new generation of electronic bands appeared, organized by Electro Kids promo group, including the groups like Randa Majestic, Stone People, Dreamland, Tetrida, Cherevata and Coordinative Wonders. Rock music of Belarus arose in perestroika times. Bands like By2, Lyapos-Trubetskoy, Krama and ULIS were founded in the late 1980s or early 1990s. Though rock music has risen in popularity in recent years, the Belarusian government has attempted to limit the amount of popular music aired on the radio, in favor of traditional music of Belarus. These restrictions have encouraged some Belarusian bands to sign up to Russian labels and to tour more in neighboring countries. The tradition of Belarus as a center of folk and folk rock music is continued today by Stary Ulsa, God's Tower, Vicious Crusade, Brasel and Kriwi, among others. Stary Ulsa is a neo-medieval music revivalist band that uses authentic instruments of the medieval Belarus. In 2003, Belarus took part in the Junior Eurovision Song Contest for the first time. The participant Volhasat came in fourth place. In 2004, Belarus made it to the semi-finals of the regular Eurovision Song Contest. The country was represented by duo Alexandra and Konstantin, who failed to reach the final. Nevertheless, they won the Junior Eurovision Song Contest 2005 the following year, with Ksenia Sitnik's song My Mest. Whilst the nation has never won the main contest, Belarusian-Norwegian singer-composer Alexander Rybak won for Norway in 2009, with his composition Fairy Tale earning a record score. The Belarusian authorities promote folk or Slavic music at the country's top musical event, the state-sponsored Slaviansky Bazaar in Vitebsk, an annual pop and folk music festival in Vitebsk. The biggest festival of Belarusian rock music takes place outside of Belarus, in Grodek, northeastern Poland, a small town some 40 kilometers east of Białystok, the center of Podlaskie Voivodeship, which is inhabited by 200,000-strong Belarusian minority. The festival, held in July every year since 1990, is organized by the Belarusian Union of Students in Poland. The official name of the event is the Music Festival of Young Belarus Basoviska. Some rock music fans dubbed it Belarusian Woodstock.